Each case we've explored tonight, the Boy in the Box, the Watcher House, the Villisca Axe murders, the Hinterkaifeck slaughter, Ketty Cabin, Lisk and Maura Murray, share something far more terrifying than blood or brutality. It's the void. The unanswered questions. The vanished evidence. The eerie stillness that follows a horror too vast to explain. They're reminders that the monsters we fear don't always wear masks. Sometimes they wear wedding rings, police uniforms, business suits, or the face in the mirror. They teach us this: not every story ends in justice. Not every killer is caught. And sometimes, evil gets away. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these cases shook you the most? Do you believe the Long Island serial killer had help? What do you think really happened to Maura Murray? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Share your theories. Suggest other chilling cases you want us to cover. And if you found yourself holding your breath, heart racing, unable to look away, subscribe. Because next time, we're going even deeper. And what we uncover may change how you sleep at night. In Luton, England, the Patel family moved into what seemed to be their dream home. A modern flat. Safe neighborhood. Private entrance. But within days a letter arrived. Welcome to the property. I've been watching it for years. I hope you treat it with respect, or I'll be forced to take action. Then came more. No signature. No fingerprints. No postage. Just slipped under their door. Notes escalated, from vague warnings to threats. And then to photos. Of their child playing. Their car. Their bedroom light at 3 a.m. Police installed hidden cameras. They captured nothing. But the Patels noticed a neighbor across the street, a woman who always seemed to be watching from behind her curtain. Then she vanished. When police entered her abandoned flat, they found over 300 photos of families who had lived in that building. Detailed logs. Even small pieces of their trash. She'd lived there for 17 years. She had no job. No friends. No identity on record. She was never seen again. To this day, no one knows who she was. Or how many homes she'd watched. 5 young men, Jack, Ted, Bill, Gary and Jack, drove to watch a college basketball game. But they never came home. Months later, their car was found abandoned in the snow, 70 miles off course. Inside, maps, food and working keys. Then came the bodies. For were found scattered across the wilderness, some frozen, one starved, another barefoot. But Gary was never found. And the cabin 20 miles from the car, it had been broken into. Firewood used. Food opened. But none of the men appeared to have lived there, even though it could have saved them. Experts call it America's Dyatlov Pass. No one knows what made them leave the road. Or why only some tried to survive. Theories range from foul play to a panic episode. But one investigator said, it was as if they were running from something. Something we can't see. In Bergen, Norway, the charred body of a woman was found in a remote valley known locally as Death Valley. She had multiple passports, wigs and disguises. All labels on her clothing removed. Her fingerprints were erased by fire. An autopsy showed sleeping pills, soot in her lungs and signs of manual manipulation. She didn't die accidentally. Someone made it look like she did. But who was she? The woman used at least 8 aliases across Europe. Hotel logs showed she switched rooms frequently, requested sea views and met with unidentified men. Some believed she was a Cold War spy. Others say she was a trafficked woman who escaped her captors. To this day, her real name has never been confirmed. Her grave reads simply, Unknown Woman. Found November 29, 1970. Rest in peace. Residents of Creek Road, a small town near Flint, Michigan, began noticing strange occurrences. Doors unlocking by themselves, phones ringing without signal, cars starting in the middle of the night. Then came the break-ins. But nothing was stolen. Just moved. Slightly. Drawers open. Family photos turned upside down. TVs tuned to static. A woman named Helena Jones finally set up a camera in her living room. It recorded a man, pale, bald, expressionless, standing in her hallway for 6 hours straight, never moving. He vanished before police arrived. Over 7 years, 14 similar reports emerged. No one ever saw him enter. No fingerprints. No sign of forced entry. Locals call him the Creek Road Phantom. There hasn't been a new report since 2009. But the fear still lingers. American tourist Melanie Stone checked into room 307 at the Shalimar Grand Hotel. The next morning her mother called the hotel, panicked. Melanie hadn't returned any messages. But the receptionist calmly said, "There is no room 307. Confused, her mother flew to India. But the floor where 307 should have been, sealed off. Eventually, hotel staff admitted that room 307 had been closed for renovations for years, after a guest committed suicide there. Security footage showed Melanie entering the lobby. But never leaving. Never going up. Never going down. She was gone. When Indian police broke open 307 days later, they found her phone, passport and purse, arranged neatly on the bed. But Melanie was never found. The room was sealed once more. Over the course of 3 years, traffic cameras in Atlanta caught glimpses of a young woman in a green dress walking aimlessly near major highways between 2 and 4 a.m. She was always barefoot. Always carrying a red satchel. She never spoke to anyone. Eventually, a viral Reddit post asked, "Who is the green dress girl?" A man claimed he gave her a ride in 2011. She asked to be dropped off at a cemetery. When he later looked in the back seat, her satchel was there, with a birth certificate and a photo of a little girl. Both were from 1976. Police reopened a cold case. Rachel Dawson, missing since 1982. Was it her? A hoax? A coincidence? No one's seen her since. But every now and then, a trucker swears he sees her along I-85. Still walking. Still silent. Still in green. On May 14, 2008, Brandon Swanson, a 19-year-old college student, crashed his car into a ditch while driving home late at night in rural Minnesota. He called his parents and told them he was uninjured, but disoriented. He thought he was near the town of Lind. As they drove out to find him, Brandon stayed on the phone with them for over 45 minutes. Then suddenly, *T, and the line went dead. They never heard from him again. What's chilling isn't just that he vanished. It's that his car was found 25 miles away from where he claimed to be. Search dogs followed his scent to the edge of a river, then nothing. No body. No clothes. No phone. No signs of struggle. But that's not the most disturbing part. Over the years, multiple locals reported seeing a young man at the edge of that same field, always at dusk. Just standing. Never speaking. One hunter said he called out to the figure, who turned and smiled, before fading into the tall grass. To this day, no trace of Brandon has ever been found. In 2014, CCTV footage from a suburban neighborhood outside Buckinghamshire, England, showed something grotesque. At 3:37 a.m., a figure appeared crawling across a driveway. Thin. Emaciated. Human but somehow not. Its movements were jerky, unsettling. It stopped beneath a security camera. Looked up. Then crawled backward into the woods. Residents reviewed the footage the next day after hearing noises in the night. Police were called but dismissed it as a malfunction or prank. But it happened again. And again. Over 6 nights, 6 different homes captured the same figure crawling just beneath their windows, always between 3:30 and 3:40 a.m. Then it stopped. No one was caught. No explanation ever came. Some believed it was a severely ill person. Others said it was something else entirely. The footage was uploaded online, but later mysteriously deleted from every platform it appeared on. One comment before it vanished simply read, "He comes for the ones who can't sleep." The grinning man first appeared during the Mothman sightings of 1966, in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. But unlike the red-eyed cryptid, this man was, somehow worse. Witnesses described him as tall, dressed in a black suit, with an unnaturally wide grin. His eyes were unblinking. His skin pale, almost gray. He didn't speak. He just grinned. One woman said she saw him watching her from a field across her house every night for a week. When she finally confronted him, he pointed to the sky and disappeared behind a tree. Another man said he offered him a ride and communicated telepathically, describing things about the driver's past no one could have known. And then he was gone. Years later, in 1995, similar reports emerged in Ukraine, Argentina, and Taiwan. Identical man, same smile, same black suit. He never harms anyone. But everyone who sees him reports a tragedy in the weeks that follow. Death. Illness. Accidents. The grinning man doesn't kill you. He just comes before it happens. A man checked into room 389 of Hotel du Nord under the name John Lane. 3 days later, hotel staff found the door locked from the inside, chains still fastened. Inside, his body. Dead for 2 days. No visible injuries. No drugs or poisons in his system. No wounds. But the TV was playing static at full volume. On the mirror, written in steam, was a message. I let him in. And no one knows who him was. Hotel logs show no visitors. No camera footage showed anyone entering or leaving. Police initially ruled it heart failure, until the coroner's report noted the man's heart had physically shifted 3 inches to the left. As if pushed. The room was sealed for years. It reopened in 2017, and closed again after a guest claimed someone knocked from inside the bathroom mirror. So why are we drawn to these cases? Why do we crave stories of horror, of pain, of mystery? Psychologists say it's control. We stare into the abyss hoping to understand it. Hoping, perhaps foolishly, that understanding evil will protect us from it. But here's the truth. Real horror isn't dramatic. It's subtle. It's the neighbor who smiles but never speaks. It's the door that's locked when you swore it wasn't. It's the silence that follows a scream no one else hears. It's the police case marked closed when it never really was. And it's the sinking feeling that the world is not just unpredictable, but unfairly cruel. In 2022, an anonymous package was delivered to a journalist working on a podcast called The Vanished. Inside were 8 Polaroids of missing children, a handwritten map with red XS across 6 states, a flash drive containing recordings of muffled screams and a ticking clock. The package had no return address. The postmark was smeared. The final page in the envelope was a note that read, "You've only seen the ones we want you to find." Authorities opened a case. The FBI got involved. But then, everything was sealed. Freedom of Information Act requests were denied. The journalist who received the package disappeared 6 months later. Her last podcast episode, it ended with her whispering, "I think I know what they are. But they know I know." If you've made it this far, if your heart is pounding, if your lights are still on, if you've double-checked the locks, then remember this. Real horror is not fiction. It's history. It's memory. It's right now.